statement was released on Keith's social media account saying, quote, Toby Keith passed peacefully last night on February 5th, surrounded by his family. He fought his fight with cancer with grace and courage. Please respect the privacy of his family at this time. Executive Editorial Director for People, Alicia Dennis, is here to talk a little bit more about his life, his career. Alicia, thanks for joining us. Toby Keith sold more than 40 million albums. He was never shy of making strong, bold statements, sometimes controversial, but his music is just so, he was so prolific in it. What, in your opinion, having followed his career, will be his most lasting legacy?
I think that the music that he sang touched a lot of people and was the soundtrack to a lot of people's lives. Being in Oklahoma, he talked a lot about his good friend Blake Shelton and how much they came up together through the years, through his 30 years of singing country music. And I think that people just felt connected to him. He stayed in Oklahoma and didn't settle in Nashville, and was really just somebody who was very real and was himself.
I mean, he did have his big shot in Nashville, but you're right. He went back to Oklahoma, and that's where he lived his life and career. So how much does, that loyalty and how much does longevity in 30 plus years of career play into him being one of the greatest country artists of all time?
Yeah, I think that what he saw was a reawakening of his career towards, we talked to him, People Magazine talked to him when he won the People's Choice Country Awards. He was named the People Icon in September. And he said watching, the video of 30 years worth of his career was just really kind of surprising and amazing. You blink and it's all past, and he was really working hard to fight against this diagnosis and struggling to make sure that he could sing, even though, a lot of the operation had changed the way that he sang, and he was still performing. When he was 8 years old, he got his first guitar from his grandma and wrote a few songs about her. And so it's really fun when you look at that from 8 years old all the way until his death yesterday.
One of the things that happens, and we've been covering the cancer diagnosis of King Charles, and one of the only communication really from the palace has been it's important for others who are dealing with a cancer diagnosis to know that people who are famous or people who have a platform are also dealing with this. What do we know about just his communications? We know that he announced it in 2022. As you said, he has continued living somewhat of a public life. One of his last interviews I saw on CBS Mornings was just a little bit ago with a local station. What were his last years like, the last 2 years since the diagnosis?
Yeah, you're right about that. I think that it's really important when people feel that they can share those kinds of very personal, moments with the public and with their fans, to be able to help people understand that they need to be checked and diagnosed, and that they're not alone in this fight, the struggle against cancer. But he joked around some about his diagnosis. He said to us, "I never thought I'd be in skinny jeans, and look at me, here I am." And so he, had a sense of humor. He was very much of a family man, and it was really important to him, that connection of his children and his wife. I had the opportunity to interview him at his ranch in Oklahoma back in 2010. And when we spent the day there, it was just so clear how much the family meant to him and how important it was to him to be connected to them. And I think that meant a lot to him as he was going through this diagnosis.
Well, Red Solo Cup, and of course, one of my favorites, Should Have Been a Cowboy, are top hits. But what is your favorite Toby Keith song before we let you go?
I really like some of his first ones. How Do You Like Me Now? Just kind of that idea of coming back and showing somebody who didn't think you were going to amount to much that you did actually accomplish something. I think that song's kind of fun. And then, of course, his Red Solo Cup, the most recent hit, is one that a lot of people really enjoy at parties. And
one I listen to a lot is Beer for My Horses, because that I'm a huge Willie fan. But thank you so much, Alicia, for making the time for us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.